the opportunity to play with Sydney at the Olympics, and I just want to get your opinion. When you turn your from coach to a fan hat on, to watch those two guys play together, what's it like? How do you see it? At least from
First of all, I'm very excited to see that. The Olympics with the best players is overdue, and think about McDavid, who's closing in on 30 years and hasn't got to play in the Olympics yet. Is not fair for all the hockey fans out there who should be able to watch that. And now you see, two Hall of Fame players, about a decade apart, finally getting to play together. It's very exciting. For so many factors, but also, Sydney has been the best player for the NHL, for a long stretch of time, and now Connor's been the best player in the NHL for a stretch, and now the fact that they actually get to play together, they did last February, but for the Olympics at the biggest stage, it's exciting.
How similar are they in the fact that they're incredibly talented, they work incredibly hard, and they're just driven to win every time they're playing on the Olympics?
Yeah, I don't think any superstar talent can have the success they have unless they're driven and they work on their game. For them to be as good as they've been for such a long period of time, and you hear a lot about once you hit 30, your talent decreases and you're not as dominant as you were when you were 24. You look at these seasons Sid's having, I believe he's 37, 38. McDavid's having one of his best seasons, 29. They work on their craft and they also take care of themselves, and that's remarkable.
Just focusing on your team, this is a stretch where you had a lot of home games. You've been great on the road in January, but you haven't had the success at home. You got still 6 more games, I think, in this homestand. What's been the issue at home recently for your team?
I'm trying to think of the last few games. A couple of those games after the break, we just weren't ready to play, or that break took away some momentum. I think about the Islander game, which was probably one of our best. Just couldn't score a goal. Their goaltender was outstanding. The other night, completely different story, where we just weren't ready to play the first 40 minutes, and then totally flipped the script in the third period, but just couldn't get a goal. So, at the beginning of the season, it was almost the opposite. We couldn't lose at home. We were winning a lot, couldn't win on the road. Now it's been switched. So, I look at those games, I don't think there's something to put your finger on it. I think there's many reasons.
You talk to Connor, or to Pickard's situation right now, considering how valuable he was for you in the playoffs, how tough this must be for him. He's not playing, you're playing the other two guys. He's obviously won 7 games for you in the playoffs last year when Stu faltered. So can you put your coaching side aside, just say how difficult this must be for a guy like that?
Oh, very hard for Picks, obviously. It's hard for me. I can only imagine how hard it is for him. We wouldn't have been in the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years in a row without him. He was able to give our starter a reset in the Vancouver series. And then also last year, winning, the way he played in the LA series, especially during the Vegas series, and then the injury disrupted that. But, if that wasn't for a strong play, I'm not sure we get through that series. And, he's won a lot of important hockey games for us. And not only that, you see the personal side of it. Here's a fantastic teammate, someone who means a lot to the guys in the room. And, hasn't played his best this season. But unfortunately for us, we haven't played very well in front of him, which has made his job even harder. Since the break, or maybe mid-December on, he's had a few starts, and those starts, his body of work has probably been his best this season. But you've got 2 goalies, one that we trade for that we believe is a starter, and another guy that we called up because of injury and was in kind of an insurance for us, has been playing phenomenal. So, unfortunately for him, he's the odd guy out right now. But when I look back and think about the contributions he's done for our team with his play and just being a character quality person, it's difficult to see him in that situation.
So the cup ends last year, and you go into the summer, and you and Stan, no doubt, talk about the ways you have to improve your team, how we're going to get better with positions. And here we are a few months later, you've completely changed out your goaltending department. You got 2 guys that weren't even here before. I guess, did you see that coming?
No, it wasn't. Definitely something that we talked about in the summer on changing it and how we can change it and what were our options. And there really weren't any options at that time. And it was a lot of conversations about that. And then as the season went on, we just felt that we had to find something. We had to do something. And we've ended up with the goalies that we have right now. But it was very difficult and something we had conversation about for not just over the summer, but even before that.
And Ingram is starting to look like one of the sneaky good trades of the season for maybe any team, the way he's playing. When your GM says, hey, we just got this guy, he just came out of the program, he hasn't barely played a year. What are you thinking? Yeah.
Goalies, that's a funny position. You look at goalies in the league over the years about, it's a little bit different in the past where the good goalies typically were always the best. And, right now you look around the league and, there's a handful of guys that are going to be solid and year after year they're going to put up good seasons. And now it's, have a good season, not a good season, a couple of good, and then, it's just very unpredictable, which is difficult for a general manager and a coach to try and determine, because it's probably the most important position in the game, and it's also probably the most unpredictable. Connor had played, one really good season. I believe he had 50-plus games, showed that he could be a starter. You look at his body of work this year where, playing in the American League and just average at best there. Now he gets an opportunity because under circumstances, and he's been phenomenal. For a so-called backup goalie, I'm not sure there's many backup goalies that are playing as well as he is right now. So, I'm not sure. Remember what your question was, but
You've answered it.
he's playing really well right now.
So who are you putting in net tomorrow? You can just blink twice if it's George.
We'll decide tomorrow morning. We'll let you know.
Captain, can you play on Saturday?
I don't know that. It'll be about a week, and I think we'd be very fortunate to get him on Saturday. I'll just say that. We'd be very fortunate.
Leon tomorrow or Saturday?
Leon will be coming later this week, so we'll determine that later.
Bercy Kloppenberg's there. He's had some surgery.
He had surgery, yes, and he'll be out for a while. He's going to be here. He just recently had a surgery last week, and he'll have a follow-up, but he'll be out for a while.